A massive health tsunami is headed our way, and it's not that far offshore.
The experts say that within 10 years, 1 in 25 of us will be living with a brain disease like ALS, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, or Huntington's.
They say confronting this tsunami is going to require not only scientific breakthroughs, but also a massive raising of public consciousness.
So our inner world guide, Michelle Bernhardt, has been exploring this challenge.
Thanks, guys. Brain diseases are an enormous health threat, not only to baby boomers, but also to men and women in their 30s and 40s. Valerie Estes is Research Director for Project ALS, an organization in the forefront of dealing with the tragedy of brain diseases. ALS stands for amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, and you may have heard of it as Lou Gehrig's disease because it struck down the New York Yankees star at the peak of his career. But for Valerie Estes, ALS has had a much more personal impact.
My sister Jennifer was diagnosed with ALS out of nowhere in 1997 at the age of 35.
ALS attacks the motor neurons in the brain and is usually fatal within 5 years.
I asked the neurologist, why? If we could transplant hearts and lungs, couldn't we also replace damaged motor neurons? I was told that nothing could be done for me. Excuse me, I don't find that acceptable.
And so we started Project ALS with the idea that maybe we could put some really talented scientists together to try to figure out why ALS happens.
Funding that effort has attracted wide support, including help from an impressive list of celebrities, ranging from James Gandolfini and Matt Dillon to Kevin Spacey and George Clooney.
And I get a phone call about this benefit for ALS, and I said, what's ALS? And you guys told me that Jennifer had it, and that we were going to raise money to find a cure.
She has rallied the most amazing soldiers to stand behind her in this fight.
She's an old friend, a dear friend.
Nobody leaves tonight until some cash is coughed up, and I mean it.
We raised $800,000.
Close to $1.5 million.
$17 million.
$32 million.
I wasn't going to go down without a fight.
And remember the Ice Bucket Challenge? That was also Project ALS.
For me, it wasn't just because I knew Jennifer and loved her and thought she was fantastic. It was because, I mean, she was only a few years older than me, and it hit me so hard that this disease can strike anyone at any time.
My family was inspired to see if we could identify doctors and researchers around the world who might be willing to come together and work together much as a family, to share data, to share expertise, to share complementary skills. And that's exactly what we set out to do with Project ALS.
Project ALS has been instrumental in fostering a collaborative scientific effort on an unprecedented scale with top researchers from places like Harvard, Columbia, Yale, and NYU. Esteban Mazzoni at NYU is an expert on cell biology.
Scientists sometimes work in a fragmented way. Probably it's not the most efficient way. And Project ALS identified few labs that have complementary skills. And they had the great idea that if we combine our efforts, we will make progress in a faster pace.
Project ALS, I think, has been instrumental in creating ALS in a dish for the purposes of studying human ALS. It's allowing us to see the human brain in action outside of the body. It's also allowing us to model disease based on a particular patient's own DNA.
Our specialty is to try to recreate in the lab certain type of cells that die in the neurodegenerative diseases that Valerie was mentioning. Every time that you have a symptom, it's because some neurons have died or they stop functioning well. Why these neurons die in neurodegenerative diseases, it's still a mystery.
We're trying to create models of ALS in a dish that will tell us why the eye muscles, for example, in ALS are resistant to ALS. Virtually every other muscle in the body is affected and paralyzed ultimately by ALS, but not the eyes. So at Project ALS, we felt that it would be important for scientists to help us understand what makes the eyes resistant
maybe there are different types of ALS. And now deconvoluting, breaking out that complexity and identifying the components might be a very powerful way to go forward.
But Valerie Estes and Esteban Mazzoni say going forward is going to require more than brilliant scientists working in labs like this. They're also seeking help from all of us.
You have concern for someone in your life, maybe yourself, but perhaps that extends to someone else. That simple act of caring should lead you to learn more about the issue of brain disease that's facing our world.
Engage your family, your friends. Educate yourself a little bit, not much. Just by doing that, it makes a difference because the change starts in yourself.
The first step toward healing is awareness. It's education. But this has to be a global conversation, and it starts with you.
This was one of the most touching and emotional interviews that I have ever done. I think partially because it's about love. It's also about the love of sisters, which is personal for me and touches my heart. But it's really about how the power of love can create miracles. Love activates our courage and strength so that we can move past any block and truly make a difference. The work being done by Project ALS is also expected to help in dealing with other brain diseases like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and Huntington's. And remember Jennifer's question about neuron transplants? As a result of Project ALS, the first motor neuron transplants have been successfully done on mice. So this new effort to foster more collaboration between scientists is not only pivotal, but vital as well.
Thanks, Michelle. It sounds like Project ALS is really paying off.
Coming up next, we'll find out what could really pay off for us when it comes to nourishing our brain.